Now, today's tip is so juicy and so important if you want to hit that ball better. Before we start, please don't forget, go to my website, richardcartwrightgolf.co.uk for a lot more tips, and also subscribe to my channel now, again, for a lot more tips, some really simplified tips to help you and your game. You'll notice that pretty much all the time, I make sure that you know where your ball flight is going. So if you know your bad shots, you can then improve your game. Now, on to today's tip. How do we strike the ball? How do we swing the golf club? Well, there's so many different answers. There is so many different answers to that. There's literally a billion combinations of how we can swing that golf club. Whether it's upright, whether the shoulder blade is doing this, whether the rotator cuff is doing that. There is literally a billion combinations. And we don't want to think about a billion things in this game. No way, it's just not possible. How many times have you stood over the golf ball and thought about 30, 40, 50 different things? You can't do it, it's impossible. The human brain can only think about two things at once, consciously two things at once, maximum. There's a ton of subconscious files in your brain that we can do, like walking, jumping, etc. Those are subconscious, those are what we've done since we were knee-high to grasshoppers. But we can only hold two new pieces of information in our mind at any one time. And if we're trying to change a golf swing, we can't go thinking about 3, 4 and 30, 40 other things in our mind. It's just not possible. So here's a really simple way of helping you with your game and how we perceive how we use this little chap in our hands, the golf club. Now, a lot of you might have heard, a lot of you might have been even told, we've got to hit really down into that golf ball, okay? Now, partly true, yes, because we've still got to hit that ground, as I've spoken about many times in these videos. Yes, we have to hit that ground to hit that golf ball. But we need to make sure that at the same time, we don't do this one horrific mistake. When we try and hit the ground, we also try to hit at the ball. Oh no, it's man down. We're not trying to hit at the ball, contrary to what we feel in every sport going. Football, tennis, cricket, whatever it might be, we've always been told to try and hit the ball, hit that ball. Golf is very different. That ball, obviously not a moving target, has to be what we call hit through, okay? So the key here is we have to make sure we're hitting through the ball in a direction towards the target of where we're going to. What we don't want to try and do is hit the golf ball at it. We don't want to hit at the golf ball. And it's tempting. It's very tempting. For example, I taught a wood chopper not so long ago. This guy had been chopping wood for a long time, 40 years to be precise. He came in with a golf swing that looked like this. Fair enough. That's what he learned. That's what he did throughout his golfing career thus far. He wanted to try and perceive it as though he was hitting wood, because that was the movement he was used to. But the problem is that must have been great for hitting wood, but it wasn't good for hitting and getting that golf ball up in the air. So what we have to do is feel like the golf club is going through the ball, because look at all that lovely space the arms and the club have got on the way through because of that. If we hit at the ball, there's no space at all. There's really no space for those hands and arms to travel through. So we need to make sure we're hitting that golf club, we're striking that golf ball by hitting through it and not at it. It's hugely restrictive and just no good, and we're just reliant on timing then. Some days, yeah, we can hit the ball nicely if we're trying to hit at it. But other days, oh, it's going to be man down. We're going to have to wave the white flag by hole 4. We're going to struggle. So I want you to feel the golf club is traveling in a direction towards a target and through the ball, not at the ball. Hit through the ball and not at the ball to help sweep that ball off the surface. And my word, if you were a hit at a ball, if you hit through the ball, you will notice a massive difference, massive difference. hit through that ball for much greater success. Hope this helps.